everyone. Welcome to the Inside Scoop Conversations with Dr. Brewer. Today's conversation will be resources to help pay for college. I'm Deborah Buabidi, the Executive Director for Educational Planning, and this conversation is intended to be an interactive session, and we encourage you to ask questions via the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. And our speakers will be answering questions live, and others will be answered via the Q&A window behind the scenes. Now I'm pleased to turn it over to our VP for Enrollment Management and Student Affairs, Dr. Brewer.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Inside Scoop. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for that kind introduction. I'm really excited to have with us today a couple of really great experts regarding ways that you can pay for your education, and also to grant and scholarships and also loan programs that are available to students. So I'm going to ask our panelists, Madeline Aponte, who's our Director of Financial Aid, to turn on their cameras and microphones so that we can see them, and also Mr. Brian McGurk, who is oversees our Student Accounts Department, and Ms. Bobidi can also join us as well. So I have a lot of questions on behalf of students, things that I've heard, but also students, I want to encourage you that if you have questions, please put them in the chat and I'll be happy to read them to our panelists and have them answer them. So let's start with you, Ms. Aponte. Can you tell us a little bit about what happens in your department and what are some important things that students may want to really know before they get ready for the fall semester?
Hi, good afternoon. My area is in charge of helping you finance your education through the federal and state aid programs. And our process starts by students completing the FAFSA application, which is the free application for federal student aid. Once we receive the electronic output, we will automatically communicate with you and let you know what your next steps are. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Our general number is 845-574-4282, and I will put that in the chat.
So when students, you talk about maybe doing some financial aid forms, what if a student has absolutely no idea? Like if I were me, I would have no idea what financial aid form is available.
So we do have assistance available to help you complete both the FAFSA and any forms that we might be sending you. So to complete the FAFSA, you can contact us at FAFSA_help, and I have staff who will make a virtual appointment with you to complete the FAFSA online. It is an online application. As well, if you have questions about our forms, again, you can call us. You can contact finaid@sunyrockland.edu or the FAFSA_help, and we can help you there as well.
Awesome.
So financial aid is a process. It's going to be, you start with the FAFSA, and then there'll be several steps that you may have to complete thereafter.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to come back to you with some specific questions, but I want to give Mr. McGurk an opportunity to share with us some ways that the students can pay for classes or other options that are available if financial aid doesn't cover everything, or if they're ineligible for financial aid. What are their options?
Sure. So first off, we're responsible for billing, collecting, applying, depositing, and refunding student dollars. So when you pay your tuition, we basically take that, apply that to your account. So in terms of if you are having some concerns or issues paying your account, we do have a payment plan in place. Right now, if you had signed up as early as July, there was 4 payments and option for a 5th payment to help extend out and spread out the number of payments to help you make your payments in a timely manner for the semester. It helps you budget. We thought that, previously we had a payment plan that had 4 payments. We were able to work with our current payment plan company and extend it out to 5. We felt that that would certainly help students budget a little bit better, and the families, of course. And we work hand in hand with the financial aid office for students that may have to take out a loan, may owe us some money, and try to accomplish the goal of not just having you register for one term, because the goal here is to educate you and make you graduate and job ready. And so we just don't want you to come here for one term and not be able to return. The idea is to try to work with you, give you as much information as possible so that you're able to pay for not just one semester, but every semester until you graduate.
Wonderful. So one of the things that I've heard about, especially for new students, is that they sometimes have to turn in a residency certificate. What is
Sure.
that? And can you tell me that process?
Sure. Well, basically, we have several different categories of residency. Most students that live in Rockland County are residents of Rockland County. There is some citizenship issues that come into SUNY and community colleges. So the most simple is I'm a U.S. citizen. I went to a local high school. I live in New York for a year. Not an issue. You graduated from local high school. Very simple. We're able to identify that very easily and give you the in-county rate of resident. And then there are students that maybe you went to high school or you live in Westchester, Orange County. Simple example. So basically, there's an agreement within the 60 some odd counties of New York where we are, and more or less each county has its own community college. So the agreement is if the student from Orange County is going to come to Rockland Community College, well, we'll give them the resident rate that they would get if they went to Orange Community College, but they have to go to their home county finance office and get a certificate of residency. And all that basically is an agreement behind the scenes between finance bureaus in separate counties that say, okay, we want our student to go there and charge them the regular rate of tuition, and then the school will bill back our finance department for the difference in tuition. And for most students, what they see is, very superficially, they say, well, I'm being charged double tuition. I live in Orange County. We ask them to go to their finance department. They go get the form. They turn it in. We recode them as what we call a chargeback student. And they get the in-county rate as if they lived and resided in Rockland County.
So then you talked about tuition rates. What are the different tuition rates? It sounds like if you're in-county, if you live in Rockland County, or you do the chargeback, then you get an in-county rate. What are the other rates that are applicable to new students?
The resident rate, and if you live out of state, you would get the out-of-state rate. And there's also, which is the same rate for foreign or international students.
Wonderful. Is there a deadline by which you have to turn in that certificate of residency form?
Yes. So the counties, it's a rule that they will not issue the certificate 60 days before the semester, and they really will not issue it 30 days after the semester begins. So within that time period is when a student should be going and applying and getting that certificate.
Got it. So something you really want to take care of and obviously not put off to the end of the semester. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And I know that you now have a new system in place for processing payments called Touchnet. Can you tell us a little bit about Touchnet and what students will see?
Sure. Basically, Touchnet is just a payment platform. It is very seamless. So if you were to log into your student portal and you clicked on student account, it basically takes you, you would think that you were in the student account area of Banner, but it actually moves you out of Banner and seamlessly into this payment platform. And the only way that you'd be able to tell the difference is if you look down at the bottom of the screen, it will tell you, you'll see the Touchnet logo. And in there, you can go in, you can make payments. If you wanted to set your parent up as a user, you can set them up as an authorized user. You have the ability to set up payment plans. You have the ability to select how you want your refund to be sent to you. We do have the ability now to send your refund back to direct deposit to your bank account. So if you want to do that, we recommend that for speed. In all likelihood, if you don't, when you go into the portal, it does ask you to what refund method you'd like. If you do not choose, it defaults to a check option.
So it sounds like really signing up with a direct deposit if you have an account is actually the fastest and most efficient way to get your refund from the college, as opposed to waiting for a check.
Yeah, it will speed it up because the college we will no longer produce checks after September. All that will be done by this third-party service.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. So Ms. Aponte, what are some of the things that the common mistakes or things that kind of trip people up when they're doing the FAFSA or during the whole financial aid application process?
I think the biggest mistakes that students make is not applying, because all students can be eligible for something. So the first step is to really apply. And the next step is take your time if you're doing the application yourself online, and really try to read and understand. And if you don't know something, just ask the question. We have staff available to help people complete the process as well as completing forms. And be patient with yourself and with us as we all navigate through the uniqueness that each financial aid application is. Students often think that, you know, my friend did it and I should get exactly the same thing that my friend did. We have the same situation. And I can tell you from doing this for many years that each situation can be different. There are nuances that we have to look at when we determine aid eligibility that you may not see.
So one of the things that I know that students worry about, especially students who are DACA or who are undocumented and ineligible for federal aid, is whether or not there's any assistance out there to help them, or if what process should they even begin? What would you recommend that they do?
So those students now in New York State, last year, New York State passed the Senator Peralta DREAM Act, opening up eligibility for New York State aid programs to DACA students and or students who may be here on the TPS, who have graduated from New York State high schools and who've been residents as far as, you know, for lived here for more than a month, and they can apply through that. They do not have to do a FAFSA. They would go straight to the New York State website, and that website is hes.ny.gov. I will put that in the chat. And they complete the application process there. Again, they can, if they need assistance during the application, they can email the same FAFSA_help email, and my staff will make virtual appointments to help them complete that process also. And then for those students who may not be eligible for that, the college does offer some assistance where the students can apply for what we call President's Student Support Funds, and those applications are reviewed by Deborah Brewer.
Wonderful. So it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities for students who want to go to school. What so you talked about virtual sessions, but I know this week there's something interesting going on, and maybe next week as well. So tell us a little bit about how some students can come onto campus and get assistance face-to-face.
So if you need assistance face-to-face, today, Monday through Thursday this week and Monday through Thursday next week, from 11 to 5, students can make appointments to come in and either register, get assistance with financial aid, completing forms, completing the FAFSA. You should go to our website and click on the rapid registration links, and you can make your appointment there. We are dealing with walk-ins. Of course, we prefer for you to make an appointment, but be prepared. Come in with your information, and we will help you in one of our computer labs, practicing social distancing, of course, to complete those applications as needed.
Right. I'm glad you bring up social distancing, because we do want to make sure that if students are taking classes in person this semester, or if they come onto the campus for rapid registration or any other business, we want to make sure that you are required, that you're required to wear a mask. And so we want to make sure that everyone is aware of that ahead of time. Beginning September 1, we will also have something called the Campus Clear app, which basically is an app where you will answer questions about how you're feeling, and making sure that it's a screening process to make sure that anyone displaying symptoms of COVID will not be able to access the campus. And so we'll try and find other ways to serve you as well. So I'll make sure everybody knows about that. So any other tidbits? The students, I know you were asking, one of you asked a question in the chat, but any other suggestions, or Ms. Bobidi too, if you have any suggestions for students as they're thinking about ways to finance their their education? Any suggestions you might have?
I just always like to tell students that really we have something for everyone. Anywhere between the financial aid programs, federal, state, institutional, and our payment plan options, that really there's something for everyone so that every family has the ability to attend Rockland Community College and make it an affordable experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You know, I was a student who went to a community college first, and I found that, you know, I was paying for my education by working at a bank, and then I also had another part-time job. So a lot of our students sometimes have multiple jobs that they're juggling while trying to go to school. And so it can be really a challenge. And if you really want to make sure that you take advantage of all of the resources that are available to you, because I have yet to see an instance where we're not able to help students identify some ways to pay for their school and some suggestions. So I really urge you to take advantage of those services. Mr. McGurk, any final words?
What I would tell students is, again, if you're having some financial difficulties and you're looking to come back to school, it's something that Madeline hinted on earlier, that you should contact us earlier. As you can imagine, you're not the only student that's having some difficulty, and our time, unfortunately, is limited. There's only so many students that we could see in a day and continue all the stuff that, you know, we're required to do on a daily basis. So you have to make sure that you leave yourself enough runway. It's very important. And just come forward, and, you know, we're here. We're happy to help you, do the best that we can to help you.
Thank you. Well, I want to just thank all of our panelists for chatting with us today. This was a quick chat, but also too, in the chat, there's also assistance in Spanish and Creole, and student accounts have staff that speak Spanish too. So if there are ever any questions that you have that you prefer to speak in your native language, we have individuals who can help you in that regard. I want to thank all the panelists for being with me today. Thank you, attendees, for those of you who were here today. And again, there's some links to the sites where you can get more assistance if you need it after this call. I want to wish everyone a very successful fall semester, and I'll ask the panelists to stay on, but attendees, that concludes our session today. Thank you so much for being with us. Have a good day. Bye-bye.